If there were one component on modern motorcycles that might prevent them from becoming classic motorcycles, what do you think that component would be? So I've been spending way too much time on things like Facebook Marketplace lately, looking at sort of older classic motorcycles. Not that I'm necessarily in the market for one, but I've just been looking. I've seen all kinds of bikes, 30-year-old BMWs that run like a clock, all kinds of things, old Moto Guzzis, old Triumphs even. One thing that all of those bikes have in common is that they don't have something stuck between the handlebars that looks like this. I'm actually quite a fan of this particular clock on this motorcycle. This is the Trident 660, and it has this gauge cluster here that's modern, but, kind of retro looking. The clock on my Royal Enfield Himalayan 450 is round like this, but it's completely a TFT. There's no segments about it or anything. It's a full color screen. I actually quite like it, and I really like this screen as well. However, what's this screen and the one on my Himalayan gonna look like after 20 years? Will it even still function? Will it just be dim and unattractive? Will it not work at all? Ladybug and I recently bought a brand new Subaru. I really love the car, and I love the technology that's built into it. It's got a screen on the dash that's bigger than my iPad by a long shot. And it's pretty sweet. You can do everything from pull up maps to select your music. It lets you change different parameters about the car and the climate control and all kinds of things. It's really neat. But I look at it and I say, if this thing fails, or if I decide to keep this car for 20 years, we kept our last one for 15, in 20 years, is this display still going to work? Is it going to be so horribly outdated that I don't even want to look at it? If something goes wrong with it, will Subaru be able to fix it? Will those parts even still exist 20 years from now? Coming from a technology background, I know a thing or two about outdated hardware. One thing I'm certain of is after a product has been on the market for so long, a company has no incentive to maintain the software that supports it. Look at your iPhone. Half of them now don't even work anymore because the software has progressed to a point where the software doesn't support the phone. That's understood, right? You want there to be progress in technology, and sometimes that progress makes certain technologies obsolete. And that's why I don't necessarily have a huge issue with motorcycle companies putting modern technology like these displays on their motorcycles. Now, I'm not saying I'm not a huge fan of the twin clocks that were on my Bonneville T120, for instance. Those things are absolutely gorgeous. And there's nothing about the Bonneville that I could see not looking great and functioning normally after 20 years. Those clocks, if something goes wrong with them, it's probably just a snapped cable or something, right? You just fix it. I'm sure there's some electronics built into it that would be sort of a hassle to fix, but I don't foresee the whole thing becoming obsolete in 20 years. A clock like this is built on technology that's not meant to be around forever, and that's the problem. The displays on our motorcycle, whether they're analog clocks or, semi-TFT type things like this, or full-on TFTs like I had on my Tiger 900 and like I have on my Himalayan, are a huge part of the identity of the motorcycle. It's the thing you look at more than anything, especially when you're riding, right? It's right in your face. And so the longevity of that component on a motorcycle is hugely important. So it gets me questioning, what happens in 20 years? What does this display look like? What do any of those displays look like? Are they replaceable after 20 years? Is there an alternative? Can these things be swapped out for analog clocks? And in doing so, do I lose 3/4 of the functionality of my motorcycle by doing that? Because there's not a whole lot I can do to change the parameters of this motorcycle without the TFT. I mean, am I being an old fuddy-duddy? Am I being a Luddite in saying technology is terrible, we should stay away from technology? I'm not trying to be, because, again, I love technology and I want technology in my life. I just don't know what this particular technology is going to do to the lifespan of a motorcycle like the Trident 660 or the Royal Enfield Himalayan or the Tiger 900 or pretty much any modern motorcycle that has any sort of modern display like this. I bring this all up because in my last video I talked about forever bikes and how I really like the Trident 660, but I'm having a hard time considering it my forever bike, or any modern bike for that matter. I have a hard time considering a forever bike. I tried to explain it in the video and I don't think I did a very good job. You know, I mentioned the fact that the Trident specifically has some plastic parts that you can sort of flex with your finger and stuff like that. I mentioned it's got a plastic gas tank and all kinds of things like that. But I think the thing that I was really trying to get at is I don't know that any modern motorcycle is going to age well enough to become a classic motorcycle in 20 or 30 years. And a big part of that, I think, is because of the disposable technology that we found ourselves depending on, like these full-color TFT displays. Also, there are computer systems that run these bikes now that if in 20 years it goes wrong, who knows if it can be fixed or not. So it seems to me like it's putting an awful lot of faith into a motorcycle that's produced nowadays to say that is my forever motorcycle when it's built with parts that are just not sustainable in the future. Am I crazy, or do you think the same way? Can you think of a motorcycle that's on the market right now that has a modern display, not like twin clocks or anything, but a modern display that you could see becoming iconic and something that's going to be here 30 years from now, still fully functional, like the 30-year-old BMWs that I'm seeing on Facebook Marketplace? I thought it'd be an interesting conversation to start, so if you have thoughts on this, I'd love to see what you think in the comments. And if you like this kind of video, let me know by subscribing to the channel. As always, I'll see you on the next one.